welcome back to the Urban and Censored channel. Now today on the Big Brother Naija Lockdown Reunion Show episode 5, a lot went down, but quickly let me give you guys highlights of the things that went down. Ebuka touched on a few situationships. One is started with the Wathoni and Kid situation. There was the Nengi and Kid situation. There was the Wathoni and Tochi, facing off. There was Kaisha new situation, and there was a Lilo and Eric situation. Ebuka started with the Wathoni and Kid situation and asked a couple of people what they felt about this particular situationship. Now, one of the people that he asked was Tochi, and Tochi said or insisted that Wathoni liked the Kid, but he didn't see that Kid liked Wathoni in the house. Another person was Tricky T. Tricky T said that he knew Wathoni liked Kiddwaya, but that for Kid it was just him flirting, like he would flirt with every other girl or most of the girls in the house. Another person that was asked was Praise, and Praise insisted that Wathoni liked Kiddwaya. Ebuka decided to ask Wathoni about that kiss that she had with Kiddwaya during the Truth or Dare game. Remember, I think that was the first case that happened in the Bbnaija lockdown house, and Wathoni insisted that she felt it was entertaining and that was why she kissed Kiddwaya. She insisted that it was just a Truth or Dare game and that she could have kissed anybody else. At that point, she decided to call Kiddwaya a community boy and a player. She said her feelings for Prince and Kiddwaya was not that deep. She liked them, but it wasn't deep. Moving on from that one, Ebuka decided to ask Kiddwaya about the flirting with different girls in the house, and Kiddwaya said that this was the kind of person that he was. Inside the house, outside the house, even right now, that's his personality and that's what it was. Katrina quickly touched on the Nengi and Kiddwaya situation because, of course, that was the next situation that was supposed to be talked about. Katrina said that she felt Nengi liked Kiddwaya and that she was leading Kiddwaya on, especially at the first Saturday night party. At this point, Kaisha decided to ask Kiddwaya why he was always saying if he wanted Nengi, he could get Nengi. And she asked this question like somebody that really, really wanted to know what that was about. At this point, Wathoni decided to put out something as well. The fact that Tochi said that Wathoni was an easy catch. And at this point, Wathoni was really, really pissed. And, she was saying to Tochi, you said I was an easy catch. You tried, but you did not catch me. And Tochi told Wathoni that he didn't like her in the house, that there was nothing to try. I didn't like you in the house. Why would I try? And he went on, that's Tochi now. Tochi also called Wathoni a community girl, saying that you're calling Kiddwaya a community guy or a community boy, but you are the community girl because you wanted every single guy in the house at one point or the other. And that was the highlight of the face-off for me. And she said, you said I was an easy catch, but you wanted to go for me. And Tochi said, I did not go for you because there's nothing to go for. You are not my type. Now Ebuka now moved the baiting from Tochi and Wathoni to Nengi. Ebuka asked Nengi what was happening with Kiddwaya and asked her if she felt she was being disrespectful to Ozo the way that she was flirting and being with Kiddwaya because she was big on loyalty. And Nengi talked about not being upset about Ozo mingling or being with other people, because she would always tell him that they can't be together 24/7. They had to talk to other people and relate with other people as well. At some point she talked about Kiddwaya. Ebuka now kind of insinuated that she was probably flirting with Kiddwaya or being cool with Kiddwaya because he was from a rich family or because he was wealthy. And Nengi talked about Kiddwaya flaunting talked about Kiddwaya saying that if he wanted Nengi, that was going to get her. And Kiddwaya said at that point that he did not have any intentions to be disrespectful to Nengi, that I wasn't trying to disrespect Nengi, that I was just putting that out. Now Nengi also talked about Kiddwaya talking about his family his dad being rich, him being a rich kid. And Kid said at that point that he was not trying to flaunt, or that he was not trying to put the fact that he was from a wealthy family in people's faces. And at this point, Kaisha had a lot to say. Kaisha had numerous examples of how Kiddwaya was flaunting and showing that he was from a rich family. She gave a lot of instances. She talked about how Kid said he flew with a private jet from Abuja to Lagos. She also talked about how Kiddwaya said that his father puts a lot of politicians in government. He also talked about how Kiddwaya said his father was the person that kind of started Banana Island. And Kiddwaya said he wasn't trying to flaunt or put that in people's faces, but the truth is that his father actually did those things that he said his father did. Now after that, still on the Nengi and Kiddwaya situation, a clip from the house was played, and I'm going to let you guys know what the clip showed. All right, the clip that was played showed Nengi and Kiddwaya on a Saturday night party, away from other housemates at the party. They were actually close to the toilet, and they were facing each other, like hugging. They were hugging each other and holding each other, and they were saying something. At that point, Ozo and Neo came, and before Ozo got to where they were, Nengi kind of ran back into the toilet, and Ozo passed, and then Nengi came back outside. A zip was down, and she kind of went to Kiddwaya to put up the zip, and then Ozo came out, and then she went to Ozo to do that, to do a zip for her. And at that point, Ozo was asking what was happening here, what's going on. And she was like, nothing is going on here. I came to pee, he came to pee, and that was why we were just here together. And Ebuka asked Ozo why Ozo kept on asking what was going on or what was happening in that situation. And Ozo said, when you come out and see something like that, everybody else were at the party, I just wanted to know what was going on. And when Nengi told me there was nothing, I believed her. And then he went on to say how after the whole thing, he asked Neo if Neo noticed anything suspicious about the situation. Ebuka also asked Neo what made him and Ozo leave the party, because I believe that at some point Ebuka was kind of insinuating that Ozo didn't see Nengi in the party and wanted to find out what she was doing outside of the party. And Neo explained that Ozo wanted to pee, and that was why he came out with her, because at that Saturday night party, I think he had a little issue with V. Now Nengi put this out, the fact that Ozo had a conversation with Neo that herself and Kiddwaya had sex. Now Nengi went on to say that in the house right now, that she does not have, that she didn't have any feelings for Kiddwaya, that for her and Kiddwaya it was just friendship. Now I think that was where Ebuka put the lead on the Kiddwaya and Nengi situation. Now on to the Kaisha and Neo situation. Ebuka asked what happened with the situation. Now while Kaisha wanted to start talking, Praise had things to say. Praise said that Neo was giving Kaisha green lights, and he gave an example of how Kaisha would be on the big couch at the lounge, and Neo would come there and stay with her. And Praise said he had a conversation with Neo about this, and that Neo told him that no, there was nothing like that. I wasn't giving her any green lights. Now, Kaisha went on to say that Neo told her to kiss him, and that at some point at the party, that Neo kissed her on the forehead. Kaisha, at this point got kind of upset, saying that I told him that I could never be an option. Yes, I liked him. I told him I could never be an option because I knew that he was with V. Kaisha said that Neo gave her a lot of signals that at some point, at one day, that on a particular day at the Saturday night party, that they were dancing and Neo got a hard on. And she also said that Neo told her that the way she was looking at him, or that the way she looks at him, it kind of makes him feel some sort of way. And at this point, Neo was kind of denying everything she was saying, because she stood up and told Neo, are you saying that you didn't like me in this house? What are you saying? You liked me in the house. You need to answer this question. And Neo was like, no. At this point, Kaisha got really, really angry, told Neo that he was a liar, and stepped out of the room. She said she couldn't take it anymore. She stepped out of the room, and then we saw where Prince was talking to her, and Eric was talking to her, and I think she was kind of crying. But after a while, she came back into the room. But Neo had a lot of explaining to do. Neo said he never told Kaisha in the house. He asked her, I told her, Kaisha, did I ever tell you that I liked you in the house? Neo said he never told her that he liked her. Neo said that there was a particular day Kaisha pulled him to herself and said, why are you so fine? And he told her to stop. And then he touched on where Kaisha said that there was a particular day at the Saturday night party while they were dancing, and while Abuti was, facing the back of him, while Abuti was facing Neo, and that he got a hard on. And he explained that if she felt something in Abuti, then it means that she was feeling the size of his bola. That got me. I felt like Neo is just a cruise master. Neo definitely always knows how to pull himself out of crazy situations. Now, moving on from the Neo and Kaisha situation, another situation that came up was the Eric and Lilo situation. Now, remember that when Lilo got evicted and she had an interview with Ebuka, she talked about how she felt Eric took advantage of her, and the fact that he did that because he knew she already liked him. Now, Ebuka asked Eric what he felt about Lilo coming to say that he took advantage of her. So he said he came out of the house, that he wasn't angry at first. But a lot of people started to, ask him, call him, tell him about what Lilo said, and he decided to reach out to her to find out why she would say that he took advantage of her, because they had a good time in the house. He said he reached out to her, he called her, and that she was being really, really, really defensive on the phone, and that what she said was, get your facts right before you call me. And I think she cut the call. Ebuka asked her why she said that during the interview that she had with Ebuka, and she went on to say that a lot of people came outside of the house, granted interviews, and said a lot of things. And why would you call me to ask me what I said? You granted interviews and said a lot of things that you said. Ebuka gave an instance of both of them granting an interview together. And Eric was saying that on that day she came with her goons, she came with a lot of things. She was still being defensive. And Ebuka asked if the ship sailed, and Eric at that point said that it was no ship, that it was a canoe. And that was really, really laughable. It was funny